How's it going, YouTube, and welcome back to the grid. And I'm your host, Carfight Grid, and today we have an exciting match for you for Digimon versus Armor Rush. And I ended up winning the dice roll, and I'm about to start off with playing Dark Tyrannomon. So as you can see, my hand's not going too well. Opponent ends up going to Digimon, thinking about the Flamedramon, but second guesses it, ends up going with the Davis to get the Ragemon or Lydramon. And it ends up playing a Ken and Davis, and I have a lot of memory. I end up Digivolving into the Mel Tyranno, get my mill, got nothing out of it. Pass the turn, ends up promoting the Lydramon, hits into a Toy Agumon, and then plays Arrival of the Golden Knight, which lets him go into Magnamon X, which sucks for me. Hits into my security nothing, and it ends up playing the Vmon. And so right now it's my turn. I'm contemplating playing the Sujin or the Raijin. Either way, it's not really looking too good for me. So I'm kind of contemplating here. I end up going with the Raijimon, which lets me bottom deck one of his level 4s or less by discarding. I end up doing it to the Vmon, and yeah, I pass the turn. He ends up starting at 4 memory. Hatches in the breeding area, plays a Vmon, and right now he's just contemplating. It's not looking really too good for me. Plays another Vmon. Okay, so end up swinging with the Magnamon X, hits into a Kazu. That's gonna help me a little bit, especially with memory. Ends up playing the Flamedramon and get the one memory from Kazu. And then right now I'm just contemplating what to do. Looking at the Fujin, end up playing the Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. End up Digivolving into Raidamon, which right now has Blitz just because I played the Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. I put a Raidamon in the Digi Evolutions and the Fujimon by paying 1 memory. Get to swing, and I can Digivolve now. Or no, I end up swinging, and he ends up blocking. No, I ended up Digivolving and then swinging and then removing both of them with the inherent skills of Fujin and Raijin. End up playing another Kazu and pass the turn to my opponent, and he has Flamedramon, and he ends up playing the shot, goes through my security and just Mega Deaths my guy away. I read him on away. End up playing another Attack of the Mobile Digimon. Play the Raidamon for all the costs, but then get the 3 memory because I get to pit all the Jins inside. Swing, get rid of his Digimon. Even though I give them a lot of memory, I don't believe Armor Rush has a way to get Rush, so I end up swinging, and then now it's his turn. He has 6 memory to work with. He plays the Jamming Vmon, or he Digivolves into it. Then goes into Lydramon, then plays another Mega Death. That card hurts so much. End up playing a Mechanorimon, which actually is going to help out for a bit. And that is game for me. We're going to game 2. And then end up finally getting a rookie Digivolve into Toy Agumon and play a Sunzurimon for 3. He ends up going to Vmon to Lydramon to the Davis and Ken. And damn, it's just so good because he's promised 3 memory on his turn. I go ahead and go into Gorgemon, Digivolve into another Gorgemon, which is nice. Get some hand filtering once I Digivolve on top of those. And then and they're both blockers, so that actually does hurt Armor Rush quite a bit, and especially there's 6k blockers, not 5k, so it makes all the difference. Ends up playing the Vmon, grabbing another Vmon, Digivolving into the Magnamon, end up hatching, going to Sunzuri, Digivolving into the Andromon, get my mill, don't get anything, but that is a-okay, because I believe I'm just going to go into the Sujimon and just bottom deck his Magnamon X. Or I'm actually might bottom deck his Lydramon, depending on how much memory I want him to gain. Yep, the Lydramon. I end up going with the Lydramon because I don't like it that he gains 2 memory every turn. And so now my Sujimon actually is blocker, reboot, or no, just blocker, and it's gone because of Mega Death. End up Digivolve into Dark Tyranno, another blocker, go into another Andromon. Don't get anything off of it, but at least I Digivolve, so once I do decide to swing with it, I can go ahead and, oh, he runs into my security, runs into a Raidamon, and then Digivolves into a Flangedramon, swings into that, and I believe it hit a mobile. Attack of the mobile, ends up playing a Beamon. I end up going into the Sujimon to get rid of that Flangedramon. And then I pass it over to him, and then he ends up going into Flangedramon again, swinging. I end up blocking with the Sujimon, and then I rest the Kazu so I can get some discard action going on, some hand filtering. And yeah, this is just one weakness, one big weakness to Armor Rush. If you just run a lot of blockers, which this deck most certainly does, and yeah. Armor Rush wanted to take on the blocker challenge, and right now game 1 turned out good. From game 2 not so much. End up Digivolving into the Metal Tyranno, get the Raidamon from that. And right here I believe I'm just contemplating Digivolve into Raidamon just on top of the Dark Tyranno, but I'm not too sure, just because that would be 4 memory right there. End up playing attack of the mobile Digimon, and then I end up Digivolving Raidamon on top of Sujimon, put the Fujimon inside, and then pay 1 memory to pit the Raidamon inside. Or, oh yeah, I believe I couldn't do that. Yes, my opponent actually corrected me. I just remembered that the Blitz is only on Digivolving, so I can attack right now if I wish. But if I do the Raidamon effect, I will not be able to swing. So I told him, I was like, oh, I apologize, can I just go ahead and... So I ended up rethinking my move again. I totally forgot about that ruling, and he let me take it back, which is super nice of him. And I believe I end up just swinging with the Metal Tyranno just to get some discard hand filtering action going on. So I can go ahead and discard that Fujimon, so I can go ahead and go play the attack of the mobile, and then go into Raidamon, gain 2 memory, even though I didn't have to play that attack of the mobile. Now when I think about it, but it's a-okay, we're not all perfect. I end up swinging with the Raidamon into his Magnamon X, but with all the inherit skills, I ended up getting rid of the board entirely. So that was really nice, and I was actually swinging at his security, which got rid of my Raidamon because it's a blocker, because Andromon was actually in the evolutions. So yeah, that worked out really well for him, really bad for me, but I got to clear his board, which is amazing. It's already his turn. He has 4 memory to work with, and he has a Beamon, right, that he just promoted, and he has a Cannon Davis, which is really good for that deck because they can just keep on restanding. Oh, and there goes 2 Magnamon X, so that's a good sign for me. And then right now he's just Digivolves into Magnamon, goes ahead and checks, and he's a big boy, so I'm not swinging through him anytime soon. But I can go ahead and play Attack of the Mobile, go into Raidamon, and it has Blitz, and I'm going to Digivolve, and then I'm just going to go ahead and remove with all my inherit skills. I'm going to remove the Beamon. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn off to him to 7 memory, which is a lot, but like I said, they don't have rushed, and not really no need to be scared of, because you still have 1 more turn after this. As long as he doesn't get rid of the Raidamon, I'll be a-okay. Then I can get some memory off those Kazus. He's just getting a lot of searching going on with those Beamons. About to Rookie Rush me to death. He goes ahead and plays a blue memory, boost delay, plays the Beamon, gets nothing off of that search, plays another Beamon, ends up playing the jamming Beamon. If he would have ended the turn with the Mega Death, this would have looked really bad for me, but since he did not, I end up hitting another Raidamon inside Raidamon's evolutions. Swing, basically cleared off his board. ran into Davis, which is nothing nice, but I ended up playing 2 Mechanorimon, so that's like kryptonite to Rookie Rush, especially yeah, it's kryptonite to them. Almost to like every armor, as long as it doesn't have as long as it's not Magnamon. And he ends up getting into 2 Largemon and just rests my Mechanoris and just keeps on swinging at my security. Which, yeah, he said Mechanori is my problem. He's like, I'm just gonna rest and get rid of it. He ends up going to the Chimeramon. Minus DP's my Digimon. By like, I think 4,000. Ends up swinging at, end up blocking with the Dark Tyrannomon. And then, it's still his turn at 0. Ends up playing the blue memory boost to get the Flame Dramon, and then it's my turn, and I can't attack with the Mechanoris, but I end up going to, passes me up to 3. The causes pushes me up to 3 more. End up swinging at his security, but I end up getting rid of his Chimeramon with my inherited skills, and then I end up just spamming the board with Dark Tyranno and Hagurimon. So right now he has 2 security, and it's not looking too good for him, but only have 3 attackers. One of them's going to cost me a memory to swing with, and he ends up killing my blocker because flame shot, and then it's just, it gives him another turn, but I end up playing another Mechanori and a Gardramon. So I have a wall like no other, so I know right now he's not having too much time, or too much of a fun time right now. End up blocking. He ends up Digivolve into another Largemon to rest one of my blockers, and then Davis can restands. Ends up swinging again, and I believe I just let it hit, and it's actually a tie, which is nice because it's plus 1,000 DP to all my Digimon on my turn. So that's awesome. So my blockers are now 7, and he ends up playing Arrival of the Golden Knight, plays the Magnamon X, and plays the plays the Ice Wall and plays the Mega Death. So technically I cannot win this turn unless I end up going into Raidamon, but then I gain so much memory back. So I left him at 3. And right now, it's funny, I have 4 Digimon on the field, but I could not swing. And now it's his turn, but he's contemplating what to do, just because I have a huge wall, and I'm just going to be blocking with Mechanoris and Gardramons all day. Block with the Mechanori, he ends up playing the Jammy Vmon, and he ends up Mega Deathing my Raidramon again. And I'm like, okay, we can keep on doing this all day, because I can keep on just slapping down the Raidramon. And, I can keep on slapping it down, but it took me a while to think for a second. I played the Haguri, then I played the Raidramon, and then he gains, I gained 3 memory, and then I leave him at 5. Right now, he's actually on the verge of decking out, which is awesome for me. And he actually goes to 6 because of Cannon Davis. So right now I have 3 blockers. He only has 2 attacks at the moment. I end up blocking the Magnamon X. And the best thing he can probably do is Digivolve into the Vmon, swing, I block, and then he, Digivolves into Flame Dramon, I block, and he ends up Mega Deathing the Raidramon again. And right now it's not looking too good, just because the Magnamon X can actually redirect the attack, which is horrible. End up Digivolving into the, Metal Tyranno into the Sujin into the Raidamon, gain the memory, swing, and I believe on attack I just cleared off his Magnamon with all my with all the inherent effects. I think I did -8 to it. And yeah, and that was the game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment, like, subscribe, and see you until the next one. Peace.